What's up, everyone? I'm Scott,
And I'm Jason.
and you are listening to Liquid Carnage. My friend, we are here, the first regular working week of the new year. I am happy to see it. I'm happy to be back to a regular schedule.
Are you? You know, I was talking with Noreen about something. I can't remember when it was this weekend, but we were talking about just sometimes, some people are just so important. Their life is based on a structure, and when you move it out of the structure, they are totally thrown off. I mean, just absolutely thrown off. And I feel like all these weeks where we had, one extra day off or people were gone or people weren't doing, it throws people off. It's like hard to get back into a routine.
Yeah, and that's what I've been dealing with since before Christmas because people take the holidays off. Some leave a little bit earlier, some people leave a little bit later, and not having a full work week and people taking time off because the way Christmas fell this year, schools got out a little bit later. So today we're recording on Monday the 9th, and today's the first day of school back from Christmas break. So it's trying to get everyone back onto a schedule and adjusted. And it's an adventure, man. It's not as easy as it sounds.
No, no, it isn't. And then, it's just, I think that like at my work, people are back in, but we all work some people work every day in office. Some people work some days in office. I work, like 2 days a week in office. So we don't even see each other. It's probably 3 weeks since I've seen one of the employees in my team. I mean, I haven't seen them for 3 weeks. So,
Yeah, and
uh, you know,
I haven't seen my boss in 3 weeks between the vacation and then travel issues and then COVID. He's just having a hard time getting back in the office, and I'm just I'm a man on my own island right now, just getting things knocked out as best I can, hoping he comes
yeah.
back soon. But that's just the nature of the beast.
Do you have a set structure with the job yet? Or are you still creating it, or how does it
Yeah,
work?
it's pretty fluid, but there's enough loose structure to where I can make it work for what I do. I honestly I make sure before I always made sure I had 10,000 steps a day, no matter what. Now it's not a problem because I'm like a shark in the water. I am always moving.
Oh, got it.
I am
Got it.
always moving. I always have some place I can go, always someplace I need to be, always checking on somebody. So it helps. It's good for me. I like to change. I never know what's coming next. And that's probably been something I've been lacking and needing.
Yeah, yeah, and like you said, having the ability to kind of just hit the ground running and jump into it and do the things that you want to do. I'm sure that probably gives you a nice sense of I'm accomplishing something.
Yeah, it feels like I'm making a difference. So,
Okay.
as long as I keep having that feeling, I'm happy to keep rolling with it and see where it goes.
Yeah, I found this weekend Noreen wasn't feeling good, so we did a lot of kind of staying home.
Mhm.
Like not going out, not partying, not doing it really pretty much anything. And it those days are really nice when you just kind of stay home. You know what I mean? And don't
Yeah.
don't go out and have to have something on an agenda to work on or focus on. So that's kind of what we did this last weekend. Just kind of you know staying at home, being quiet, not having to worry about getting gussied up or dressed up or anything, just going.
See, that's the one thing that I'm still adjusting to with this new job is I always had something going on weekends or some kind of work function or community function. I don't have to do that anymore,
Yeah.
and that's my biggest adjustment. And it's nice that Janice doesn't always want to go out and do those things. So sometimes I'm on my own, I'm doing them, but not having any set plans is very nice for a change. But I don't know how long it's going to last for me before I have to start making some kind of plans like that so I know what I can look forward to and go out and go do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and I think that that'll be another structure for you, right? Then
Yeah.
you'll be establishing what that structure is going to look like. So I feel like
They, they
you're constantly going to be adjusting to new things over the next few months.
I think so. But days like you're talking about where you have nothing on the agenda, I can tell you right now, those days always lead to day drinking if you're not careful. If you stop for a quick beer, that 6 hours can pass, and all of a sudden you got a day buzz, and you're going to bed at 6 p.m. because you don't want the hangover the next day.
Yeah, yeah. There have been days, like one day it was kind of chilly at night, and I wanted to, get my cigar, get my cocktail, and sit out on the patio and just relax. And I don't know why. For me, that's just the way that I like to enjoy cold weather because we have a fire pit on the back patio. So
Yeah.
I'll kick up the fire pit and I'll just let it go. Let it do its thing, and it's nice. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
nice.
That's what we're working on right now. We're working on trying to put a concrete pad in a gazebo in our backyard so we can do this something similar to what you guys have with some chairs and a fire pit, and that'll be very nice if we can ever get a contractor to call us back and get quotes and whatnot. But that's one of our goals for early 23 is to have something like that going into the spring.
Oh, really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So when the weather's not too bad, we can go outside before it's too hot or when it's not too cold. A lot of the cold doesn't bother me, but Janice is so small. She's done with it pretty quick.
Now, so do you guys don't have a fireplace, do you?
We have a gas fireplace in the house,
Oh, okay.
and it puts out heat pretty quick. So I don't like to use it a lot, also, because it's also very expensive to run.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, we don't have gas. Everything is well, I shouldn't say it's propane, individual propane, not at the house, but just a
Yeah.
propane tank. But yeah, no, I don't know what it is. What is it about cold weather that it's just nice sometimes to sit outside, be chilled, but then have a nice little fire going.
Oh man, it reminds me of camping, is what it reminds me of. And when the weather gets cold like that, it seems like when it gets cold like that here, it gets rainy, and I feel like it's been gray since Thanksgiving. We have
Oh,
very
okay.
little blue skies, and it feels like we're living in the Pacific Northwest, and that's fine for those folks up there. But down here in Arizona, we are not built for that. I am not built for that. So,
Well, we were talking about because Noreen has a house in Williams,
Mhm.
and she's always said I've never really hung out in snow before. I've never really hung out in cold weather before. And I said, "Wow, you've been around. You've been around for a few years. You never been lived in a cold weather." She goes, "No, never,
Yeah,
never."
you're basically marrying a Tucson girl, so yeah. What do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, she was born in California and raised in Arizona. I mean, I don't think she's ever left the state.
Yeah.
Versus me, I mean, I was born and raised in Alaska. I went to college and spent a long time in Seattle. Where you have cold weather and damp weather and all that stuff. So I get used to it. It reminds me of good times. I love the cold weather.
Well, my parents have their house in Williams, and they like to go up there when they know the snow's coming, and they like to leave before it gets out of hand. So
Oh yeah.
they'll spend a day or two in the snow, but once the roads are clear and they've had their fill of snow and ice and whatever else and hanging around the house, they come home because it's just not worth it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I get
teach.
it. I get it.
I feel like though on days like that when you wake up, and I always like it when it's on like a Saturday or a Sunday. It's raining hard. It's just shitty outside, so you're stuck inside all day. That to me that's like a Lord of the Rings day or a Harry Potter day where you put on one of those movies and you let it rip from the time you get up until you go to bed, and you make something that you can just put in a crock pot and go.
And I assume then what you're also talking about too is you are looking at like watching the whole trilogy or the whole series, right?
You could absolutely. I think you can watch the Lord of the Rings in one foul swoop, sitting down.
Lord of the Rings, you could definitely do it. Harry Potter, that would be tough.
That's a
That'd be a
weekend.
long
That,
day.
that's a long weekend commitment. You're gonna do that, and
That's almost like watching the Fast and the Furious through the whole thing.
yeah, that's hard. That's
I
hard
mean,
anyway.
don't get me wrong, you could do it because you were managing.
But just because you can doesn't mean you should.
That's true. That's true. Okay, I like the way you're thinking there. Okay.
I enjoy some of the Fast and Furious movies. I don't enjoy all of the Fast and Furious movies. Once they jump the shark, I don't have to see some of them ever again.
Oh wow, yeah, jumping the shark. See, everyone, we always come back to that, don't we, my friend?
See, it's what it is, though. That's what it is. And when you have a cold weather day like that, and we're getting to that time of year in Arizona where we're going to have a few of those, just because our rainy season for winter is late January through early March. It's we get some of those days where it's just yuck, and some will be snow. It's like we had that snow day a couple years back. All you can do is sit at home and just watch movies and wait for everything to thaw out. You're stuck at home, and what do you do with that? So it's kind of cool. It's kind of nice sometimes.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I remember like when I was younger, we would do. I mean, we'd have a lot of cold days like that, and
Mhm.
there was always a fire going. I mean, we had firewood. You know, there was always a fire going, so that was just a part of the normal happenstance of being in cold weather and doing that. So uh, I liked it a lot. I'm sure for some people though. I mean, my daughter-in-law. I mean, she's flat out. I don't like cold weather. I just don't like it. I don't like being around it. I'm made to be in the sunny, warm weather. Well, when you're like that, then having a snowstorm or having a freezing, rain or something is not fun.
Well, she's in Texas where they're getting a lot of that right now, and it just seems like that's what Texas is turning into.
Yeah, she doesn't like it. She hates it.
You can learn to
She,
adjust, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. What do you like? What? Okay, so you like watching a movie or cuddling or warming up a movie or whatever. What else do you like to do?
Honestly, I was raised, our dad was in the highway patrol, so he was always out in that stuff. So I don't mind driving around. It does not bother me to go drive in it. So I don't mind running errands. I don't mind going to the store. I don't mind doing the other things that I would normally do. But like in the summertime, um, I'll go to Chili's during a monsoon and just watch everything out the window. I'll have a couple drinks, watch it all, and I'll do that. I'll do that now too in the winter when it's a more steady, constant rain. Just from a different point of view. That way, I'm not looking at my front window from my house. I'm just getting a different view.
Which I enjoy. I enjoy not having to be actually doing something. Sometimes I like just to sit, listen to some music, and relax. Why is it in today's world we're constantly feeling like, well, I've got to be doing something. I got to be doing something. I got to be doing something. I got to be doing something.
Because
Why is that?
that's the mentality we're putting into today's world of you got to go, 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 and that's hard, man. If you keep going all the time like that, you burn yourself out.
Well, but I also think too that some of that go 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 falls into, well, are we doing things that are productive, or are we just filling our time?
And it's a combination of the two. Sometimes it's you're just killing time, and other times you're actually getting some things done. During the New Year, the weather was bad. I think it was New Year's night, that Sunday night, and I had some Star Wars Lego busts I hadn't built yet, so I built the Mandalorian helmet because the weather was so bad, and Janice's mom was here, so they were doing whatever, and I just turned on a bowl game and started just building. It wasn't because I had to, or I didn't feel like I was being productive. It was just something to do, and something just the weather's bad. What else are you gonna do?
I also think that they had those experiments where they tested a family to not look at their phones, not have internet for a week.
Uh huh.
And the first day or two, it's always a struggle. The kids are struggling, the parents are struggling, and then they have to find things to fill their time with. And it goes without fail that most of the time, most of these people after day two start playing games, start reading books, start talking to each other. And then by the end of the week, it's like, well, how come we can't do this all the time?
Because that screen stuck to your face takes away a lot of time, man, and that's the
If
thing.
you weren't looking at Facebook and all the stuff that you look at, how much time do you estimate you'd have free?
Oh man, if I took, I it's funny. I'm actually pretty good at not looking at that stuff all the time anymore. Um, so now I'd probably free up maybe an extra hour of the day, all
Oh,
told.
okay.
You factor in like 2-3 minutes here, 4 or 5 minutes there, between everything. Yeah, I'd say I could probably free up about an hour or so.
Okay, that's pretty good. Well, what you would do in an hour, you could do a lot in an hour.
Yeah, you can get a lot done, and that the older you get, the more I realize, God, man, this stuff is just mind-numbingly dumb and stupid. We don't need this in our lives.
Right. I wonder too sometimes that that when you take out a lot of the wasted time,
Mm-hmm.
uh, maybe it's almost like, well, I have all this extra time. Well, what am I going to do with it?
Yeah,
If I'm not looking at Facebook, or I'm not, let's say, wasting an hour doing something that's totally trivial, what would I fill my time with?
yeah, and I think everybody views that differently. Like what you can do, what is productive for you, what is productive for them, are two very different things. And
Right.
sometimes maybe just sitting there and having a few minutes to yourself is productive, mentally or emotionally. And I think that gets lost along the way too.
Well, or like you, I mean, finding if you had an extra hour, you should have no excuse not to work out because you prioritize working out, right?
Yeah.
So for some people, an extra hour when they say, I can't find the time to, I just can't find the time to do the workout, or I can't find the time to go to the gym. Well, you can. It's just we choose not to. We choose not to go through that exercise. So
Well, I think the trick in this case is, when you have that extra hour, you don't necessarily get to choose when an extra hour hits. Is it at the end of the day? Is it the start of the day? I mean, for me, I know I can't just take it right off in the middle of the day to go to the gym or whatever else. If I get the extra time, it's generally at the end when I haven't looked at the things all day and I've just been going.
let me ask you this question, Scott. Do you find a difference between watching a movie for 2 hours or reading a book for 2 hours?
It is. There is a big difference for me. I know, like, my eyes can get tired after about an hour and a half of reading, so I need to take a break. I need to get up and walk away.
And so what? And why is it that watching a movie for me or for anyone is like I can stomach watching a movie for 2-3 hours versus reading a book for 3 hours straight. Why is that?
Because the action's right in front of you. You don't have to picture anything. It's easier.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. And it does, your eyes don't have to like skim a page. They don't have to
Yeah.
formulate a picture.
You don't
Yeah.
have to focus as much. You don't have to. You're forming the mental pictures, and it's less tiring on your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
And there's a joke out there on the internet saying, will you start a movie at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night that's 3 hours long, and you'll say no, but you'll turn on and watch 3 hour long episodes of your favorite show. So everyone just prioritizes things differently. What you want to do. It's how you break it down mentally.
Well, and I think too that even though you're not reading a story, you're watching a story, so you're
Yeah.
formulating a story in your mind. So at least you're putting something together. But a lot of times that's why I kind of like documentaries, because sometimes I actually want to maybe learn something or
Yeah.
find out about history versus going to an encyclopedia or going to read a reference material to discover that same history.
What I find myself doing now is, like, if we're watching a movie or a TV show, I always have my phone close for IMDb because it'll kill me if I can't figure out who a certain person is or what else they've done. That was notorious for that in the new show 1923, Tulsa King. There's a lot of people I recognize, but I just couldn't remember where I recognized them from.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny. I don't know have you watched Tulsa King at all on Paramount Plus?
No, I've seen it. I've seen it on there, but I haven't watched it. No.
It's a great show, and one of the guys that one of the main characters used to be on a show called Silicon Valley on HBO.
Okay.
And the season finale is this past week, and he made a direct reference to working at it being his past character on Silicon Valley. So it made me laugh that it's almost like this guy's in witness protection over here in Tulsa from something he did over there. So it's just kind of a fun connection. But I had to check to make sure it's the right guy and not somebody else. So having the IMDb right there helps me connect those dots too a little bit.
Yeah, you know me, I love my IMDb.
Oh yeah, well, you've got me hooked on it now too. Where I'm out there looking up at the same things and cross-referencing, so I know who's who.
Yeah, maybe the other thing that's nice about colder weather is that it is kind of a hibernation feel versus warm weather. You want to go out, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the activities.
I think that's it too, because we're sitting on the couch last night. It's about 6 o'clock on a Sunday night, and Janice looked at me and goes, "How's it only 6 o'clock?" Because it was pitch black out.
Yeah,
it was pitch black out. Like the girls were already starting to kind of get ready for bed because I knew they had to go back to school today. I was like, I don't know, like it feels way later than it is. But in 4 months, come April or May, 6 o'clock, it's going to be bright out, and we haven't even batted an eye and thought about going to the store, dinner, or whatever else yet, because the sun's still up and everything's still going.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I mean, you're right. When the sun is a longer day, you feel like, oh, I've got more things to do. We don't want to spend time out in the dark, where our natural tendency as a species is we need to be protected from the dark because there's a lot of bad things that happen in the dark. So this is our opportunity to, protect ourselves. Let's hunker down, get inside, and be safe.
It kind of shows that time is relative. To me, it's what you make of it, because there's still 24 hours in a day, whether it's January 9th or June 9th. And how you handle that is up to you. Just because the sun has gone down at 4:30 instead of 7:30, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, time does has an illusion in our minds. I'm very bad about when I get cardboard, cutting it up and putting it into the recycle bin versus the garbage can. And so this weekend there was just a ton of cardboard, just a ton of cardboard in the garage waiting to be cut and recycled. Well, we have our recycle day on a Monday, so I decided, well, I've got to cut it up, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to do this. It's going to take forever. And within 10 minutes, I was done with the entire amount. And I thought, now, if I had just stopped wasting so much time hemming and hawing about doing it, and I had just done it, then I would have got it done that much quicker.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of thing like we were talking about. It's like, well, instead of putting a preconceived notion about how long something is going to take in my mind, just act.
Yeah.
And see where it goes.
Yeah. And I find myself doing a lot too, because I always try to figure out time management. How long do I have to go before I need to leave to go do this? Or how long is it going to take me to do this so I can go do that? And I always end up finishing things a little bit faster than I give myself enough time to do, just because I want to give myself that little bit of a buffer just in case.
Yeah, well, and that's the buffer is kind of nice, but when you get it all done, it's like, oh, I should have just done it. I need to stop thinking about it, just do it, and not worry too much. So
yeah, a lot easier, a whole lot nicer. It's one of those facts of growing up. You just learn. Some people don't do that. Some people are just perpetually bad at that and never will get good at it, and will just do things on their own time because it's their time as far as they're concerned.
I find that some people are really good at it. Like they break it down in their head that I'm just going to, slowly but surely just move in a direction, and they don't think about it. Well, I've got this big project that's going to take me forever to get it done.
Yeah.
They just do it. And they don't even worry about whether or not, they don't even worry about whether or not it's going to take them a while. They just kind of slowly but surely get due. I think about farmers, or I think about people who work in big projects, where you're slowly, methodically moving forward. You don't see results right away, and then all of a sudden you're done. We have a development project near the house. It's a big development project near our house where they're basically turning it into kind of luxury condos and luxury retail. And, they say, oh, we'll be ready till 2024. And something, oh my God. And this started last year, something, oh, it's going to be a year and a half. And, oh, it's going to take so long. And they just keep moving forward, and little come up here, little come up here. And then I think, oh my gosh, it's coming up fast. It's just coming up. It's doing what it needs to do. So
little by little it gets done. And that's kind of what I've done professionally too. I've never gone shooting for like, I need to hit this goal by this date. I just figure this is what I want to do, and I'll get there when I get there, but I'm going to keep moving in that direction. I go slowly but surely till I get there. And then I look back and say, like, shit, I've come a long way.
Yeah. Well, and like we talked about before, I don't know what episode it was, but we were saying, what would you tell yourself 20 years ago? We'll start saving today. And it's like, well, wait a minute, I've got 20 years left to go. Might as well just start now. And sure enough, I looked at my account recently, because I said, I'm going to put a certain amount each paycheck into this account.
Yeah.
And it's grown fast. It's to think, wow, I mean, I have an extra $2,000 that I didn't have before our podcast. Yeah, that worked out pretty damn good, and I didn't have to, break down the bank to do it. So
see, that's what matters. It's just whatever works for you is trying to find, the best avenue for success. And there's 7 billion people on this planet. So that means there's 7 billion different ways to motivate somebody. No two people are ever going to be completely alike. And you have to be able to be self-aware to go figure out what motivates you and be strong enough to do those things and move in the right direction.
Is Tom a plotter?
Oh yeah.
Like he just kind of slowly but surely moves in a direction, whether it's financial or a project or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. Or that, or he
Yeah.
just decides he's going to do it. He just does it. It's,
Yeah.
But I would call that plotting. Yeah, I would say he plots.
Yeah. I've noticed that's where Noreen and I differ, is that I kind of wing things a little bit too much. I just kind of go off the wing, fly off the seat of my pants. Whereas Noreen has a set plan. I do this, I do this, I do this. I just move forward, and we do things a lot different. Now, luckily, we meet in the middle on a lot of things, so it does make it easier for us to,
Yeah.
to have common goals. But it's hard when you have someone who just kind of, goes off the seat of their pants.
Yeah, I like to think that I'm probably more flying by the seat of my pants, but the older I get, the more I realize I plot a lot more. I quietly just keep things going in the right direction for what I need, and I think Janice is pretty decent at plotting, but I think she's also very similar to me, where she flies by the seat of her pants on a lot of stuff, or researches things a lot faster, makes a decision and go.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder too. One of the biggest worries I have about retirement is, do I have enough activities to fill my time that I enjoy, that are not just sitting in front of a TV all day?
Yeah.
And obviously I'm closer to retirement than you are, and Janice is. So it's a constant idea for me. Like I love these people that basically they retire and then they're gone, right? They go on the road and they're traveling, or they're immediately gone. They've got activities planned, and you don't see them for 6 months. I respect those people a lot, because they said that's what we want to enjoy our time doing.
Yeah, it's because the age difference between Janice and I, it's 8 years. So I'll in theory, I'll hit retirement a lot faster than she will, and we'll have 8 years of me having to find something to keep myself busy while she works still. But I thought I'd struggle with trying to find stuff to do, but as I don't, like the holidays are a perfect example. I find things to do that I know have to get done, so I keep myself busy as the day goes. And then I
I see.
hobbies
Yeah,
as I go too, So it's
yeah,
just,
yeah.
I think I'll be okay when we get to that point. But for me, that's 21 years away. Like I don't think I'll ever give up working. I think even when I retire, I'll still go find like a cheap job, and just do that. I'll be a Walmart greeter and call it good.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, see, someone just came up to the door. Every time we record, someone needs to come. I need to put a sign up. Hey, from 4 to 4:30, do not knock on the door. Do not come in our house. Nothing. But they never listen to me, buddy.
They never listen. But we're getting close to wrapping up the show anyways. So had they listened, we could have avoided that. But if you have something you like to do on a cold winter's rainy day, or you have something you like to do to plot for your retirement, what is it? We want to hear about it. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, all at Liquid Courage. If you have cold wintry day ideas for our EP Tom, because he gets a lot of them up in the Denver metro area, hit him up on Twitter and Instagram at liquid_EP.
Yeah, whatever someone does, though, I think that anytime you're in the wintertime, yeah, snuggling is always a good thing.
Yes.
To snuggle, whether it's with a warm blanket by yourself and a book, or if you have a partner and you want to have just snuggle time, watch a movie with a partner. That's what cold weather's all about.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
it's the time to reset.
Yeah.
And just enjoy
like
some downtime.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Because once those flowers start to bloom, and the ground gets greener from all the water we get from the snow and the rain, baseball starts, it gets warmer out. It's a lot of fun, man. You want to be out doing all the things. So, you got to prepare for that. So you got to rest now, because once it's here, it's going to be, fast paced, go, go, go till the sun goes down.
Well, and maybe that's why the summertime time goes by so fast, because there's more light out, so there's this constant need to do something. Maybe that's why we're thinking, where does summer go? It's already gone already.
That's true. Where's the time go?
Exactly.
That's fair. That being said, sir, why don't you take us home?
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Hope you're having a great winter so far. That was Scott. I'm Jason. And as always, if you never know quite what to say, just have yourself some Liquid Courage.